Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana bhavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 6 to 10 of chapter 3. Karmendriyani sanyamya,
Karmendriyani sanyamya,
ya aste manasa smaran,
ya aste manasa smaran,
indriyartan vimudhatma,
indriyartan vimudhatma,
mithyachara sa uchyate,
mithyachara sa uchyate,
yastvindriyani manasa,
yastvindriyani manasa,
niyamyarabhaterjuna,
niyamyarabhaterjuna,
karmendriyai karmayogam,
Karmendriyai karmayogam,
asakta savishishyate,
asakta savishishyate,
niyatam kuru karmatvam,
niyatam kuru karmatvam,
karmajyayo hyakarmanaha,
karmajayo hyakarmanaha,
sharirayatra pichate,
sharirayatra pichate,
na prasidhyeda karmanaha,
na prasidhyeda karmanaha,
yajñarthat karmanonyatra,
यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र
lokoyam karma bandhanaha,
लोकोऽयं कर्मबन्धनः
tadartham karma kaunteya,
तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय
mukta sangha samachara,
मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर
सह यज्ञाः प्रजाः सृष्ट्वा
सह यज्ञा प्रजा सृष्ट्वा
पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः
पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः
अनेन प्रसविष्यद्वम्
अनेन प्रसविष्यद्वम्
येषवोस्त्विष्टकामधुक्
येषवोऽस्विष्टकामधुक्
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So we are doing verse number 6, wherein Lord Krishna is heavily coming down upon this tendency to escape, this tendency to run away. It is an irony that people believe spirituality means escapism, when actually in all the scriptures they criticize escapism. Even when it comes to the Bhagavad Gita, we don't even need to study the contents of the Gita to understand this principle. If you just see the background of how, when and where the Gita was given, it was right in the battlefield, not in some Himalayan cave. And it was given to a warrior. A warrior is representative of one who is fully in the world. And Arjuna, being the number one archer, he was unable to face a challenge in front of him. Now he wanted to escape and run away. He said, I don't want to fight this battle. Now, after hearing the Bhagavad Gita, which was Krishna's sermon to him, he overcame this tendency to escape from life. He overcame the tamas, and he took up his bow and said, yes, all my delusion is gone. I will fight. I will do my duty. This is the overall backdrop of the Bhagavad Gita. So here was a person who wanted to run away, escape. After hearing the Bhagavad Gita, now he got the strength to face the challenge which was in front of him. So what is the logical conclusion? The Bhagavad Gita helps you to face life. But the mind is so illogical that everyone, or most of the people, I would say, the moment you say, you should learn the Bhagavad Gita, they'll say, what is a hurry? We'll do it later in our lives, after retirement. Because they neither know the Bhagavad Gita, nor do they have the basic logical thinking to see to understand the fundamental principle by seeing the context of the Bhagavad Gita. See, everybody knows the Mahabharata story, how the war was there and Gita was given to Arjuna by Krishna to Arjuna. All these basic things most people know. But the intellect is lacking this basic logic to understand a principle by seeing the context, by seeing the sequence of events. Why? Because they are so caught up with their own preconceived notions. The general thinking is that the Bhagavad Gita or spirituality takes you away from life, takes you away from enjoyment. That is not true. So since people lack this capacity of basic thinking, that is why Krishna is emphasizing so much. Actually, Arjuna was not able to understand how a person can be in the war field and still be spiritual. He considered all these activities as negative activities. So it took a while for Krishna to get him out of that stupor. Now, in order to break these preconceived notions, a very interesting method is being adopted by Lord Krishna here. See, what do I mean by breaking the preconceived notions? The mind, when it forms an opinion, it gets fixed in that. It refuses to budge. Many times, when you conclude something, that may not be true also. But how much ever people come and give the facts or logic, you will still not accept. It's very difficult to move the mind from where it is fixed due to some opinion or some notion. A preconceived notion means something which you have already concluded and then you're stuck with that. That is when it becomes a block. A person who is open-minded is able to easily break these blocks and get on with gaining the new information, the knowledge. But a person who is stuck with his old ideas is unable to move forward. So when you're stuck with a preconceived notion, any amount of knowledge can be given, any amount of advice can be given, but there will be no use. The mind will keep going to the same thing again and again. If only a student's mind is free of all the preconceived notions, it will just take a fraction of a moment for the master to give this wisdom and to give the highest experience. But practically, it doesn't work that way. So in order to break this preconceived notion, see, he is here talking about suppression. He is saying suppression is not a good thing. But the embedded message is indulgence is also not good. We will see that. But the first method which Krishna uses to break the preconceived notions which the mind has is that he picks up 3 words from the scriptures which are normally used in a very positive way, not only in a positive way, in a very spiritual way. And he uses those 3 words in a negative way here. What are the 3 words? The first word, karmendriyani sanyamya. If you remember, in the previous chapter, I think it was in verse number 61, Krishna gave this principle of sanyamya as one of the most powerful sadhanas to be practiced by a sadhak. where in that Sthita Prajna portion, how to achieve perfection. Is it the senses can go completely out of your control? So how do you solve that issue? Is it by applying this principle of Samyama? It's actually Samyama. Samyam. So while pronouncing we say Samyama. Now, having mentioned that just in the previous chapter, the end of the 61st verse of chapter 2, suddenly here he is using the word Samyamya in a negative sense. This is the first thing. The second word in this verse, where he uses a normal positive word in a negative sense, is aste, sitting. Generally, asit, sitting means one who is ready to meditate. That's a scriptural language. The moment we talk of sit, the three things, sitting, there is sleeping, lying down, sitting, standing. So lying down means they generally use it to denote tamas. Sitting for sattva, meditation, and standing for rajas, ready to act. That's why in the first chapter it is mentioned that Arjuna was ready with the bow and arrows. He was standing on the chariot. He was ready to fight. And the moment he faced the challenge, then Lord Krishna started slowly giving him the higher wisdom. So he has picked up the word sit, which is normally used for meditation, and here he is using it to denote tamas. He is using it in a negative sense. This is the second word. And the third word is smaran, which we saw last time. I had given a few dimensions of the word smaran. The word smaran in the scriptures is used as a sadhana. See, these three words are generally used in the scriptures as powerful sadhanas. Sitting means you should make your body sit. It's a state of rest, relaxed state of rest. So your mind also should sit. Similarly, when we talk of Samyamya, complete withdrawal, conserving all the energies and directing them towards the higher. Similarly, smaran is, if you go to the Bhagavatam, it is actually given as one of the techniques of how to channelize your energies towards God. In the Bhakti Yoga portion, the 9 methods of bhakti, one of the method is smaran. Smaran means you keep thinking about God. So sitting is a sadhana. Samyamya, withdrawing is sadhana. Smaran, directing all the energies towards higher, that is also considered as a sadhana. But he has deliberately taken those 3 words which are normally associated with sadhana, and he is using it here, and he says a person who does these 3 things, Samyamya, Aste and Smaran, that such a person is a Vimudhatma, is a deluded person, Mithyachara, he is a hypocrite. Using strong words, he condemns such a person. Now there is a reason behind it. As I told you, the mind is so fixed with concepts. So in order to give you a practice, give your mind a practice to come out of your preconceived notions, he has deliberately chosen three words which are usually used in a spiritual sense, but he is now using them in a negative sense. So if for a person who goes deep into this verse using the yogic approach, he or she will find it very difficult. How can Sanyamya be negative? How can Aste first be negative? Then Manasa Smaran, the Smaranam is such a powerful way of reaching the self, reaching the infinite. How can that be called as negative? These questions will automatically come in the mind. But then, when the person goes deep into this and sees the context, then he'll be able to understand, oh, in this particular context, he is using it in this way. It is not per se the word, but how we are using the word that matters. In different contexts, the same words can mean different things, can have a positive connotation or a negative connotation. And the moment the sadhak understands that, begins to absorb this idea, it's a practice for the mind. Remember, the yogic approach is not about merely intellectually understanding things, but about training the mind. So what happens is, the sadhak learns to become flexible. For all along, his mind has been fixed with certain concepts, certain words, I would say. Now suddenly those words are meaning the opposite. So he has to change the whole course of his thinking and become very, very flexible. But in this process, what will happen is, the sadhak will learn to move from mere words to the principle behind the words. The sadhak will learn to break the preconceived notions and think in a fresh way. And that is what is true spirituality. If you ask me, one of the main qualities of a spiritual person, of a yogi, that is a fresh approach in every experience. The mind loses that freshness because it gets fixed with something or other. A yogi's mind is fixed on one thing only, and that is the infinite. Anything less than the infinite, he sees the context. There is a lot of flexibility. According to the context, this is right. According to that context, that is right. He has the clarity. He is very, very flexible. But when it comes to the highest principle, there is no flexibility. God alone is real. The infinite is the supreme reality. There is no compromise on that. So this is a very powerful sadhana tool which the masters use to help the student overcome his or her preconceived notions. So when you go to a master and take guidance, when you surrender to a master, see, unless a student surrenders to a master, the master will not give real guidance, because guidance is not given. Guidance is actually taken. Even in the Bhagavad Gita, it is Arjuna who sought Krishna's guidance. When he was seeking Krishna's guidance casually, Krishna didn't give him the higher wisdom. But only when he started the process of surrender, then Krishna started giving the wisdom, because only then it will work. So when you go and surrender to a master, and when you start taking guidance for life from him, now many a times he will say one thing at one point of time, and suddenly he will say the same thing, but he will use it in the opposite sense. He may say you should travel. In one context, he may say you should go abroad. In another context, he'll say don't go abroad. It is not at all good. Stay at your place and learn to find happiness. So the mind will be forced to come out of the preconceived notions. So unless you become free, unless your mind becomes free, it cannot attain the state of nirvana, liberation. So this is a very powerful tool, a powerful sadhana, which is used by the masters to help the student overcome this block of getting stuck with relative concepts. There is no standard rule for all situations. A classic example is in one of the yogic texts. It is written that when you wake up early in the morning, you should not have you should have a warm water bath. Now many people just stick to that mechanically, but if you go to the context, you will find that that person is wrote that in a place where the climate was very cold, like in the Himalayas and all that. So there, early in the morning, the circulation to get going, if you warm the water and have the bath, it's beneficial. But if a person is living down south in India, where climate is very hot, there some of the siddhas have said early in the morning you should wake up and you should have a refreshing cold water bath. Now, which one are you going to follow? It all depends upon the context only. So you can use this principle in your life to come out of all your preconceived notions, to come out of the entanglements wherever the mind is caught up. If you're taking the guidance of the Guru, and when he is guiding you, you will anyway be forced to do this. The same Guru who is asking you to do one particular thing at one point of time, at another point of time he will say avoid that. So the focus of a master is not on these relative things. It is in somehow taking the student to the next level, and then the next level, till the highest level, infinite dimension. For that, the master may employ any method. Sometimes the method may look crude, but it will be only for the ultimate benefit of the student. So this is a classic demonstration of how Lord Krishna, who is a Jagat Guru, is breaking the preconceived notions. See, it is not about merely breaking that particular preconceived notions, but in the process of doing that, he is forcing the student to absorb this principle of flexibility in thinking. That is the beauty of the yogic approach. When you take a mere intellectual approach, and when you are studying the same verse, you will not get a hang of this deep message. Your thinking process is not going to change. Your approach will not change. But when you use the yogic approach and go deep, you will be forced to change. So what is he saying? Karmendriyani sanyamya yah aste manasa smaran. One who sits restraining the organs of action but mentally thinks about the objects of senses. Now, when I was explaining verse 61 of chapter 2, I had explained the principle of samyama in detail as a sadhana. Now, in that, I had given you one dimension which will be useful here also, and that is yam also means twin, dual. So what is considered as the twin of yam is ayam. So yam means restraining, ayam means stretching, extending, the opposite of restraining. So spiritually, when the word samyama is used, directly he is talking about restraining, but there is indirect meaning where he is also talking about the opposite of restraining, the stretching. That's why the dimension of twin becomes, it denotes a twin, the hidden meaning of yam is ayam. Very, very interesting. So when he's talking about when a person restrains the organs of action, the opposite is also included, the ayam. That is, the opposite of yam is ayam, which is extending, that is indulging. See, what do we mean by extending? If your hand, let us say, or let us take this hand, supposing your hand is able to reach up to a certain level. Now that is your normal range. But if you forcefully try and extend it further, that is called ayam. So philosophically, spiritually, ayam represents indulgence. Yam represents unintelligent restraining, suppression. So when he says one who sits restraining the organs of action, both are included, both the extremes. Where when you apply this dimension of yam, the twin dimension, we can get the deeper message there. So he is not only talking of unintelligent withdrawal and suppression, he is also talking about unintelligent contact, extending, that is indulging in the senses. So these are the two things which usually people do, and they lose their mental balance. What are the two things? Either you go all out and indulge in the senses without any discipline. When you do that, then also the mind will get into the state of smaran. Here he is using the word smaran in a negative sense. Smaran means thinking, but here he is using it in the sense of uncontrolled thinking. So when you indulge too much in the senses, after the experience is over, now your mind will not come back. It will keep on running towards the object. That is called mental lingering. See, when you go through an experience, once the experience is over, the mind should come back and be available for your next experience. But when you indulge in the previous experience, the mind doesn't come back when the experience is over physically. The mind continues to run towards that particular experience. That is called lingering. Now, mental lingering depletes your energy. So when he says smaran, he is talking about the mental lingering, manasa smaran. So whenever you indulge in something without any discipline, then your mind will go out of your control. See, when you indulge in one thing itself, the mental lingering will be Tremendous. Now, what is happening today is you indulge in everything. Whenever you contact the world, there is no discipline, nothing. Just go all out and indulge. So then all your energies get depleted and you get tired out in life. Why is it that as you grow, you get fatigued? You get really mentally tired. It is because one of the factor is that is indulgence. Okay, so when you don't indulge, do you conserve your energies really? No. That's what he's directly telling you. Sanyamya. That is, you are in the state of unintelligent withdrawal, and you suppress yourself. So just as when you indulge, the mind refuses to come back, it keeps on lingering. Similarly, when you forcefully don't contact something at all, when you try to avoid something, again the mind will start running towards that object. It will not come under your control. Right now, if I were to tell you, don't think about the moon. Right now I'm telling you all, don't think about the moon. Already your mind would have picturized the moon, isn't it? And the more I keep emphasizing, don't think about the moon, don't think about the moon, only the moon will come into your mind. Whatever you avoid will come back to haunt you. So he is analyzing the two major factors which make your mind go out of your control. And if you are able to successfully curb these two factors, then you will become ready for the next verse where he is going to tell you what you should do, how you should approach life. It's not merely in the next verse, but the whole chapter is going to talk about that. But first you need to understand this subjectively. See this happening within you. So every experience which you go through, either you are indulging or you are suppressing. Now, how do you know that you are not in the middle path? You may ask me, sir, how can we be sure? Probably I am in the middle path. That's why this Manasa Smaran is a simple way of finding out. If your mind is not under your control, if it is running on its own, it means you are either in indulgence or you are in a mode of suppression. You are not in the middle path, which is the path of sublimation, which is the true path of spirituality. Simple formula. I gave you a few useful dimensions of Smaran last week. Recollecting, remembering that it runs to the past. See, when you indulge, if you have indulged in something also, it will keep running. If you have suppressed yourself also, it will keep running to the past. Incomplete experiences, both are incomplete. Then the thinking, the uncontrolled thinking, that also we saw. And then one very important thing is thinking with regret. That is, wherever you have committed any mistake, the mind will tend to form a guilt, and that guilt will start bothering you. See, why is it that these great yogis say, follow your conscience? See, the conscience within you knows what is right and what is wrong. Nobody needs to tell you. But the mind has a tendency not to listen to the conscience. It gives in to the lower. And then over a period of time, the guilt which is formed, because the conscience keeps on reminding you that grows, that develops a lot of force, and then that keeps bothering your mind all the time. When you sit and meditate, when you do the Yoga Sankirtan Sadhana, which is the most powerful way of cleansing your system, all these factors will start coming out. The Smaran will start happening. That is, the factors responsible for Smaran will start coming out and it will start going. That's why some of you would have experienced a lot of thoughts will start coming when you do the Yoga Sankirtan Sadhana. Why are these thoughts coming? No point in analyzing. These are all stored there. If you don't release it during sadhana, these thoughts will come and disturb you when you're when you're experiencing your life. Similarly, suddenly guilt may come. Whatever mistakes you did, all that will come into your mind. You should go on releasing that. The release is the key. So, one who sits restraining the organs of action but mentally thinks, manasa smaran, indriyarthan. Another beautiful phrase is used here. Indriya means the senses. Arthaha, he uses the word arthaha for object. Arthan is in plural. So he says the mind will keep running towards the objects of senses. So here the reference is to the 5 jnana indriyas, the organs of perception. The previous line, he was talking about the karma indriyas. I told you what are the 5 organs of action. Here it is the organs of perception he is talking about. What are the 5 organs of perception? The eyes, the ears, the nose, the taste, that is the tongue, and the skin for touch. So for each organ of perception, you have a group of objects. For the eyes, you have various things to see. So that is the sight. For the ears, it is the sound. For the nose, it is the smell. For the tongue, it is the taste. And for the skin, it is the touch. So these are the various objects of senses. He is classifying all the objects in the world into 5 types. Those things which you can see, those are the sights, different colors. Some things may be beautiful, some things may be ugly. All these, Similarly, the next one is the next category is all the things which you can hear, the various sounds. Sometimes jarring noise, sometimes divine music like the Yoga Sankirtan. When we had the Mahaganapati release, many people were saying how divine it was, how divine it was. That's the sounds. Then the third type of objects, arthaha. See, arthaha has many dimensions. Out of that we will be seeing 2-3 which are relevant here. The first dimension of arthaha is object. So the 5 kinds of objects. So first is the objects which you can see. Second is objects which you can hear, sounds, various sounds. The third category is the group of objects which you can smell. Every object can have all these 5 also. So those things which you can smell with your nose, different kinds of smells, all that is grouped under the third category. And then the fourth is those objects which you can taste, the various types of foods, the food varieties. You have the 6 types of taste, The hot taste, the sour taste, the salty taste, sweet taste. So various 6 tastes are there. Now all that can be grouped under the taste. And then the final category is all the objects which can be touched. The various forms of touches. Certain things are soft, certain things are very hard, certain things are somewhere in the middle. So those are all the touches. And each touch will create one kind of sensation. So what is interesting is, how God has designed this is, there are these 5 kinds of objects in the world. In order to experience the world fully, God has given 5 instruments, 5 indriyas, 5 senses, called jnana indriyas, the organs of perception. So in order to experience all the objects which ought to be seen, the eyes have been given. See, when you understand it deeply like this, that itself gives you a lot of devotion. What a beautiful creation this is. In order to experience the objects which need to be smelled, the nose has been given. Imagine if we didn't have eyes or nose, then 1/5 or 2/5 of the world we cannot experience. In order to experience all the objects which need to be heard, the ears have been given. In order to experience all the objects which needs to be tasted, which we can experience only by tasting, the tongue has been given. But what is interesting is, we don't use these organs properly. If you take the food, unless you chew it quite a bit, you will not experience the taste. But you are more concerned about gulping one morsel so that you can take the next piece, You don't really taste and enjoy. That's why our yogis say, chew well and eat. You will enjoy the food and you will also become healthy. So the tongue has been given for that. And then in order to experience those objects which can be experienced through touch, the skin has been given. The skin has the ability to experience the various grades of touches. Very, very interesting. So this creation is amazing. When you understand, when you use the yogic approach and understand it this way deeply, you will automatically become so devotional. You will become very highly contemplative and meditative. On one hand, the world is there, 5 different types of objects. Those which can be seen, those which can be heard, those which can be tasted, those which can be smelled, those which can be touched. And then, in order to experience these fully, 5 sense organs have been given. The eyes, ears, the tongue, the nose, and the skin. What a beautiful creation this is. See, we don't have time to think about all this. Why? Because we are so busy. Busy in doing what? Non-essential things of life. The first step in spirituality is to see how this body has been created and what is it meant for. Now, what is interesting is, the word he is using is Indriya Arthan. Artha. Artha is the singular form. So Artha first means objects. That is the first dimension I have explained to you. the 5 different types of objects. Now, artha also means meaning. What do we mean by meaning? To understand the meaning of something. Artha also has another dimension. So what is the implication there? When you use your organs of perception to contact these 5 different types of objects, why should you use them? Not merely to enjoy and indulge and leave it there. It's not merely that, but in order to find meaning to your life, that is, learn. See, these are the 5 instruments which have been given to you to learn from life, to learn higher and higher things. It is the same senses we'll be using for spiritual evolution also. And that is why our yogis call them as jnana indriyas. Just as you have karma indriyas for action, here jnana indriyas, those senses which you use to gain jnana, knowledge, the meaning, which you use to learn, they are called the jnana indriyas. See how beautifully they have named the organs of perception as jnana indriyas. Our yogis were so thoughtful. They had done intense research about life. So every name which they gave had a deep significance. Even when we talk of the names of gods, see, like if you take Narayana, thousands of names are there. If you take Lord Shiva, again thousands of names are there. If you take Ganapati, thousands of names. Muruga, thousands of names. Shakti, thousands and thousands of names. But each name will signify a particular dimension of the infinite. Our rishis were masters of that. They never did anything mechanically. For everything which they did had a purpose, had a deeper meaning. So jnana indriya. So if you use your senses to experience your life, and if you learn your lessons, then you will evolve spiritually. Then only you are using your jnana indriyas properly. So one facet of jnana indriyas is the object. The artha means object. So when you use your jnana indriyas to experience objects, that is one usage. But that is not it. If you use them to experience and you learn from that experience, and when you grow, then you have used the jnana indriyas properly. But if you are in the state of either indulgence or suppression, then you will not be able to learn from your experiences. A person who is indulging in life can never learn anything. Similarly, a person who suppresses himself completely, who doesn't face life at all, he also cannot learn anything. And when there is no learning, there cannot be any growth. You will only be in a state of smaran. So you neither experience and enjoy, nor do you learn and grow. And these are the two main ways by which you can actually evolve spiritually. One is you experience, enjoy and complete those experiences. Number two, you learn your lessons of life from your experiences. This wisdom will help you in that, and you you are in the process of continuous evolution. All these things are completely cut off when a person merely sits and who's in a state of either indulgence or restraining. Till last week I was only talking about restraining, but here, since I've given you the other side of the coin, you should understand it you should understand both the extremes. Then only your wisdom will become complete. So, artaha, number one, means object for you to experience and enjoy. Number two, artaha means meaning. When you experience life, you should learn from each and every experience and grow. In the yogic language, it is said, committing a mistake is not wrong, but if you don't learn from that mistake, then it is considered a spiritual crime. Generally, we tend to be very slow learners, But if you want to become a yogi, you should be very alert, you should be a very fast learner. You should keep on learning and growing. And the experiences of life are there in front of you, and they are there to teach you the highest wisdom. When a newborn baby is, when a baby is born, newborn baby, that experience of birth teaches you one facet of life, tremendous. When someone dies, that experience teaches you what life is. Life is, full of these opposites to teach you the different facets. It is not only birth and death. Every experience which you go through, when someone comes and praises you, now what is your reaction? These are all learning experiences. When someone comes and criticizes you, insults you, that is also a learning experience. Oh, how I am losing my peace of mind because of what he is saying. Why should I lose my peace of mind? When you learn that experience, when you learn from that experience, you start growing. That is the second facet of artha. The third dimension of artha, which will be very, very useful for your sadhana, is that artha also means aim, goal. You fix a lakshya. Lakshya means directly goal. So whatever you aim to achieve in life, that is called artha. So when you use these jnana indriyas to contact the world, you should do it with a purpose. You should have an aim. When you function in life without any aim, without any goal, then there will be no direction. There will be no a steady flow of energy. Your mind will run helter-skelter. It is only when you have an aim, then all your senses will come under your control. So that is why he is using the word artha here. There are so many other words also to represent sense objects, but he is taking the word artha and he is putting it here so that the deep message is being conveyed to a sadhak. This is what the sense objects are meant for. This is what the world is meant for. This is how you are supposed to function. But when you don't do that, then you will get into a state of manasasmaran, that is, the mind will go out of your control. When you have an aim in life, you will be contacting the world, but the mind will be under your control. The discipline will be there. Distractions will become lesser. When you don't have any goal, you will always be distracted. You can never be an achiever. So, artha means aim. Not only that, I'll give you two more dimensions of Artha which will be very useful for you. Artha also means wishing. It means wish, it also means desire. What is the difference between wish and desire? See, when you have a wish, it means it will be nice. See, you wish that happens. The emotion is that, if this happens, it will be nice. From my side, this is what I want to happen. But you are not putting it as a condition. When you desire, you're more clear and you're saying, no, this is exactly what I want. So there are two things. In life, you should have the aim, the goal, but then what will give power to your goal are these two factors. That is, you should have a wish and you should also have a desire, ichha. When the desire goes out of your control, it is called kamaha. So the fourth dimension which I am giving you of artha is wishing. So you should the world, whenever you experience the world, you should go on wishing positive things. See, in our culture, we greet someone, we either do namaste or the other thing is, this portion, the heart is touched and you bow down. Both have their significances. Namaste is you bow down to the divinity in the other person. You're not interacting merely with the body. When you touch the heart and when you bow down, you're triggering the unconditional love. That is what you have for the other person. Unconditional love, because he or she who's standing before you is an embodiment, is a manifestation of that Supreme God. So this is how we wish. So whenever you do namaste or when you bow down, you always wish the other person. See, even when we start these sessions, I always say, Hari Om and a very good day to all of you. It is a wish. Now you may ask me, sir, how do you know that my day will be good? If you use your logic and ask all this, there is no answer to it. This is my wish, that's all. I sincerely wish that this day is very good for you. So in life, what is preventing you from wishing good for yourself and others? The opposite of that is cursing, thinking negatively. I hope things will go wrong. Supposing you think like that for the other person. So what our yogis are saying is, when you're contacting the world, when you're using your jnana indriyas to contact the world, now start wishing for positive things. The sadhana of artha is to start wishing positive things for yourself and for others. This is a very powerful sadhana which you can start practicing from this moment itself. Whenever you meet someone, either you can bless that person. Blessing means wishing good for the other person, or you can curse the other person, which means wishing bad for the other person. Just because you wish, it is not that will happen. But when a yogi wishes, it will happen, because his aura is so powerful, and a yogi goes on wishing good for everyone whom he meets. So that energy itself has the healing powers, So you are aspiring to become a yogi. How do you become a yogi? How do you develop unconditional love? You start wishing positive things for yourself and for others. Let me be happy and let all others also be happy. Let me get wonderful experiences in my life and let everyone get wonderful experiences. But how you do is, I should get a car, but the other person should, should not get a car. The focus is more on that only. And even when you say, I should get a car, will I get or not? Nowadays, too much of the situation is so difficult. See, so many negative thoughts come and they don't allow you to wish for positive things. So you can take it up as a sadhana, the sadhana of artha. Start wishing positive things in life. Then you are utilizing your jnana indriyas properly. Here he is talking about what happens when you don't use them properly. The mind just simply keeps lingering, that's all. You neither experience anything, nor do you enjoy, nor do you learn anything from life. And there is no question of wishing positively. You will only keep thinking negatively. That is smaran. So for a yogi who keeps on practicing this blessing, see, learn to be happy. That is, learn to smile and bless. What a beautiful sadhana it is. You just practice it and see what effect it has on your mind. The mind's ramblings will immediately stop. Whenever you wish good for yourself and others, the mind will get into a state of rest. Whenever you start thinking negatively, the negative smaran will start. That is why he says Indriya Arthan. We have translated it as the objects of senses, because there is a limitation when you translate it in English. But using the yogic approach, I am giving you the deeper significance. All these things can improve the quality of your life tremendously. Because see, in life you are using the jnana indriyas. You have to use your sense organs. And you should use them for all these purposes. And you have to employ your karma indriyas and act. How you need to act, that is entire karma yoga. So start wishing positive things. And not only that, I told you, artha, one more dimension also I gave you, it means desire. So out of all the objects in the world, you should choose what you want to experience. That is called desire. Everybody cannot experience everything in life. That is not possible, that is not required also. So you will have your specific things on, this is what I want to experience. So if you want to grow spiritually, you start becoming very specific in life. What are the experiences which you would like to have in your life, in every area of your life? Wealth. How much of wealth do I want to experience? See, when you start generating an ichcha, a desire in that direction, then you will be able to fix a goal. You will be able to wish positively there. You can practice all the other things, and your energies will flow in that direction and you will get that experience. But if you are going to think negatively, see, for example, the moment wealth is there, people think negatively about wealth. Wealth is a sin, some people say. How can wealth be a sin? Sin or virtue is in your mind. In our ancient culture, they worship wealth as goddess Lakshmi. Everything is worshipped. The moment you bring in that divine touch, then that experience becomes spiritual for you. So in every area, wealth, there is finance, similarly your relationships. What do I want to experience? Start becoming very crystal clear about that. That is when you're getting into that dimension of ichcha, desire. So the world has everything to offer, starting from the most negative to the most positive. So the moment you start consciously choosing what you want to experience, obviously you will not choose the negative things. Will anyone choose suffering consciously? If you know something will hurt you, you will not choose it. You are choosing it today because you don't know that it will hurt you. So in the process of desiring, that is consciously choosing, you will have to use your knowledge, clarity to find out what is good for you. That is when this dimension itself will become applicable. Without any thinking, uncontrolled desire, that is called kamaha. You will choose all the wrong things. But here we are talking about the process being under your control. You decide on these are the experiences which I want in life. So the moment you start doing sadhana, now this is an important aspect. Choosing your experiences in your life, what you want to experience. That is how you write your own horoscope. The horoscope which I write on the paper, that is what you are born with based on the previous birth's karmas. But that is not necessarily what you have to live with. As you are going through in this life, that horoscope with which you are born is not applicable for a sadhak. If you don't do sadhana, then that may be applicable. But the moment you do the yogic sadhana, now you learn to write your horoscope every moment. These are the things which I want to experience. Yes, your karmas may have been negative in the past, the previous births, due to which in one area there may be an issue. But today I want to experience this positive thing, and let me do sadhana. Let me invoke the divine infinite healing energy. Let me surrender to the Guru Shakti. The Guru invokes the higher healing Shakti for me. And I will surrender to the Guru and do the sadhana. Then that situation will change. You will start living whatever you are choosing. In all the empowerment programs, I keep saying, no, write your goals and come. And even the last empowerment, many people have sent messages that some people have said some diseases have got healed. Some people have said amazing miracles have happened in terms of career. Actually, one boy has written a very interesting experience, not even during the empowerment, that Mahaganapati release function happened. No? Is it immediately after that, the very next day, he was given a 50% increase and he was actually like an intern, he was working, and his job was made permanent. And his immediate boss got instructions from the global leader that he should be taken for that position. And the immediate boss didn't understand why, because he was neither positive nor negative about the whole thing. But I believe he said something which was very interesting. The exact words he has written is, his immediate boss told him, "It looks like your stars have got aligned, because I got a call from the global leader to take you for this position." These were the words which his boss used. Your stars have got aligned. Whether obviously he didn't know what he was saying, but whether he understands it or not, what he's saying is so true. When you gain the higher wisdom, when you surrender to the Guru Shakti, when the Guru invokes the higher grace for you, and when you are humble enough to receive that, then all these stars, everything will get aligned. You start writing your horoscopes. So, Indriyarthan means the senses are meant for these purposes. But when you are in a state of indulgence or when you are in a state of suppression, then you are unable to use the senses for these purposes. Instead, you become very unproductive and the mind starts rambling. Smaran starts happening. So there are 5 things which you lose when you go to these extremes. Number 1, you fail to experience things properly in life. Number 2, you don't enjoy anything. Experience is for enjoyment only. No. Number 3, you don't learn from the experiences and grow. Number 4, you don't wish positive things. Rather, a negative train of thoughts will start. And number 5, you don't choose your life. Rather, you live a life based on destiny. Whereas Karma Yoga helps you to become a master of your destiny. You become a creator of your destiny. You become the creator of your life. Very, very powerful when he says Indriyartham. So we'll stop with that today. Reflect on these points. These are very powerful sadhana tips which have been given to you today. So see where you can apply them. By understanding this process of Jnana Indriya itself and the objects, corresponding objects, you will get a deep perspective, a clarity about life, and how you are meant to live your life as a human being. And today, when you examine your life, you will just be doing the opposite. You will either be in the state of indulgence or in the state of suppression. It's a very sad thing that all your powers all your energies are getting frittered away because of a wrong approach to life. This wisdom equips you by giving you that clarity. Okay? So we'll do the Nididhyasana meditation. Before that, I just want to mention 1 or 2 things about some questions which have come. I'm not reading out all those questions because they all have a common background. Some questions have come about the empowerment program which just now happened, wherein almost all the sadhaks have mentioned that this particular Yoga Sankirtan empowerment was extremely powerful. Yes, that is true. You're all very lucky that you attended this empowerment. It was extremely powerful. The energy levels were very, very high. So it would have caused a lot of imbalance also. That's why we had the balancing meditation on the final day to balance all the energies. So after that, you will find that your the energy levels when you do your sadhana would have increased automatically. Now, when that happens, your powers will also start increasing now after this particular empowerment. So it is very important for you to practice whatever was given here. That is, start choosing what you want in life and choose the positive things. You will not choose the negative, that is obvious. So fix your goals and start becoming clear about what you want. Then the energy which was given to you, the high level of energy which was given to you in the empowerment, will start working miracles in your life. And this year we will have more powerful empowerments to increase this higher energy flow in your life. Your whole life will start changing. So don't miss this opportunity. Put the effort to become clear about what you want, and keep doing your sadhana on a daily basis. Don't relax after the empowerment is over. Okay, this is one very important thing. The other thing is about the energy cards. Many people have sent messages that the energy flow has become very, very high after they started using the cards. So what they were asking is, can they use the cards, can they see the cards and try to eke out the energy several times a day and all that? It's not required. Kindly don't do that. See, those are a part of the sadhana material. So when you're doing your sadhana, place it in front of you, look at it. Yes, the energy flow will increase tremendously. Enjoy that. One person has written, she says that the moment she kept the cards in front and she looked at that, she was able to feel the tremendous vibrations even before she started actually playing the Yoga Sankirtan audio material. So that prepares you tremendously. It is meant for that. And don't forget to write your name at the back. I told you that, no? So when you write your name and keep, you're getting connected powerfully. Your individual soul is getting connected with that material. Then the Guru Shakti will start flowing and it will keep giving you continuous healing throughout the day, and it will also form a protective layer. See, just as when you do your sadhana of listening to the audio material and absorbing those vibrations, that forms a protective layer. These cards are meant to form a further protective layer around your energy field. Your aura itself will start changing. So, as I told you, these are not mere artworks, but these are sadhana materials. Please have that in mind. So, when the energy flow increases, no need to get overexcited about that also. And at the same time, you should be calm and use it to your advantage. So this practice, if you keep doing, then in the higher empowerments, more things will be taught. How to energize things. See, so many aspects to this. So many secrets are there, yogic secrets. But you need to become a master. You need to become adept at these basic things first. That is one thing. And some people have said that we missed the empowerment program because we didn't put the priority. We got caught up with some work, travel and all that. Can we do the empowerment now? Right now it is over. So my request to all such sadhaks is, see, when it comes to the higher things, don't postpone. You may never get an opportunity again, we never know. Or it may take many births to get exposed to these kinds of higher sadhanas. There is a great opportunity. The secret of the siddhas is being revealed, and you just simply postpone for some reason or other. And then when you ask, there is no meaning to that. So you may have to wait. That's why it is very important for you to make use of the opportunity when it is there in front of you. So learn that lesson instead of just mechanically again going back into your life. Okay. So now we'll do the Nididhyasana meditation. Sit in a relaxed way and gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. I am not this physical body. I am not this mind which is full of emotions. I am not this intellect with its various thoughts. I am that supreme infinite self. From this moment onwards, I choose to use the equipments which I have been given by God to experience life and learn the higher lessons and evolve spiritually. I choose to wish positive things for myself and for others. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. welcome back. So today I've given you many points which you can absorb and start practicing in your life. Each of these points is full by itself. That is the beauty. Even if you take up one thing and if you go into the depth of it, you will find your whole life will start becoming better. So you should come to that level where your whole life becomes a sadhana. Then every minute you will start evolving. That is the beauty. A master will create the sadhana materials and give you to make it easy for you. He will be in the background, invoke the higher Shakti and support you. But the sadhana part, you alone can do. That is the only effort which you need to put in. Put your blinkers on and keep to your sadhana on a daily basis. Sometimes they may be good experiences. Sometimes they may be what we call as negative experiences. Some birth may happen. Some death may happen. Anything in between, varied positive and negative experiences. But irrespective of all these, you keep to your sadhana. That is what will help you. Okay? So thank you very much. We'll go into further depth. The last portion of this verse is there, which is very interesting. And then we will also continue further. Hari Om.